Hey everyone! So welcome back to my channel. Today we are discussing Well of Eida by K.B. Benson. At first I wasn't sure I was going to like this book because it starts off kind of slow. It starts off in a very cliche, like, teenager thing. There's Ari, which is short for Ari Bell, but she goes by Ari. Ari is at her bedroom window, and on the other side of the window, outside of her house, is her fiancé, her boyfriend, whatever. And they're talking, and he's basically trying to talk her into sneaking out of the house. And when they're just kind of talking about sneaking out of the house, like, you realize that this conversation has to happen to get the story moving, but you're just like, okay, so we're going to go through this and we're going to wait for this story to take place. But it does take place very quickly. It does give you a lot of background information in that first chapter, because, and it's information that you do need. And then finally she, of course, agrees to go with him because, I mean, what's the story if you're not breaking a few rules, you know? This is the catalyst for the story. So she sneaks out with him, and the reason she's reluctant to sneak out with him is because he wants to take her to the Well of Eida. The Well of Eida lives in their forest, and it is controlled by the Troll King. And the trolls have a certain amount of magic that people called seekers will go and seek out. And so they'll ask the Troll King to grant a wish. The Troll King will grant the wish, but they have to pay a price. Sometimes that price is, usually the price is getting into the ring and getting into a fighting arena and fighting to the death. If you win your 3 rounds, you get your wish. Otherwise, you are killed. But there are other prices you can pay for your wish or whatever, but the whole world is a magical world, and they live in this kind of tribal community, and the elders are the ones that approve or disapprove matches. So if you decide you want to marry somebody but the elders disapprove, then you cannot marry that person, and they will deny that request. If the request is approved, then the elders have a special ceremony for the couple where they get magical tattoos that are matching, so that everybody knows that these two are promised to one another. And Ari is engaged to a guy named Tiberius, but she calls him Tib. And Tib comes to her window and says, hey, I need to go to the Well of Eida. I've got to save my mother, and I want you to come with me. And the two of them have written a vow that just the two of them know. And he recites the vow to her to remind her, when she's reluctant, to remind her that the vow that they made to each other is to always be in each other's corner. So she goes with him she finally agrees to go to the well, and as they're walking through the woods, she expresses a feeling of something's not right. And you as the reader are right there with her. You're like, something's not right here. Something is off. And I love, as you get into it, like, it's one of those stories where the very first sentence seems innocuous. It's one of those sentences that it's like, it says one thing and you feel like it means something else, like the opposite is true. And then as you get through the book, you realize just how important that first sentence is. That first sentence tells you something incredibly important about how the rest of the story is going to be. And if you pay attention to that first sentence, then when you get to the woods in the next chapter, then you realize when things feel off, you're like, things feel off because they are off. Something is wrong. Something's not correct. And she gives you the information you need to piece together that this is not what it seems. This is not what you think it is, Ari. Turn back and run. But she doesn't turn back and run, and she follows him to the well, and the trolls come, and he points to Ari and says, "Here she is. I told you I would bring her, the girl with fire in her veins." And they take the trolls, wrap her up and take her into they tie her up and they take her into the well of Eida, and she is just absolutely appalled that this person who she has made this vow with of always be in your corner has basically sold her not only to slavery but certainly to her death. And she is entered into the world, and everybody who fights in the arena for the Troll King, they are called the Fallen. There's the unmarked Fallen, and then there's the marked Fallen. And Ari is considered an unmarked Fallen because she has not allowed herself to be taken by a master yet. And so her, she lives with a bunch of outcasts in squalor, where they basically have to hunt, forage, and gather and steal for themselves and fend for themselves, just to stay strong enough to fight. Now the Fallen can earn their freedom by killing for the Troll King. So the Fallen go into this arena, and seekers who are seeking a wish will go into the arena, and they have to fight the Fallen. The Fallen have 3 stages that they have to go through. If a Seeker gets through the first round, the Seeker is fighting the Fallen as the Fallen themselves. In the second round, the Fallen is facing the person with, as in human form, with the strength of the Fallen's beast to back them up, to back the Fallen up. And then if they survive that round, in the third round, the Fallen transforms into beast form, and the Seeker has to beat the Fallen as a beast. The trick of this world is that every single person, not the trolls, but the humans, all have a beast lying within them, and they can choose to keep it squashed down and keep it locked away, or they can choose to meet it and try to bond with it and get a partnership going with their beast form. And Ari's concern is, if I unleash my beast, then how much of me is going to be left if I let the beast out? And so she is reluctant to even try to release her beast. She doesn't even know what the strength of her beast is. And she realizes that the only way to keep her beast at bay is to just beat every single person in the first round. Never let them get to the second round. And if she can beat them in the first round, then that's that much quicker that she can get to her 4,000 kills so that she can get home to her mom. And we go from her being kidnapped to 2 years later of her living in squalor, until finally someone catches her and sells her to a new master. And this master marks her, and she becomes a marked Fallen. And Graydon is known as the most notorious training master in all of Eida. And I'm not exactly sure why, because he's also the kindest trainer. As Eida is looking around the arena and seeing the other training masters, she's realizing that the other training masters are very cruel and vicious with their marked Fallen, and Graydon is very kind and very gentle, and he will be strict when he has to, but for the most part, he does everything he can to protect his fallen. And she's still reluctant to release her beast, but Graydon basically tells her that she's doing this the hard way. If she doesn't release her beast, she will definitely die. And releasing her beast is the only way to get through, and she might be able to get her 4,000 kills by the time that, before she dies, but she's most likely going to die before that. If she releases her beast, she can get through her kills much faster, because people who do unleash their beast get into the arena every single day. And whereas unleashed, the fallen who have not unleashed their beast, they're only in the arena maybe once or twice a week. And so she can get into the arena every single day and get her kills a lot faster if she just releases her beast. And if she is able to become one with it, the two of them, there is no need to worry about controlling the beast, because there will be a mutual respect between her and the beast, and she won't lose herself at all, but she's got to get to that point. And part of that, being able to connect with her beast, means to deal with every aspect of her past, no matter how painful. And there's this one piece of her past that she keeps locked behind a door, and the way she describes it is that there's a door, it is closed, it is locked, the sides are welded shut, there is stuff on the underneath, that's all welded, and Isla, one of the fairy seers, is helping her try to bond with her beast, and she sees this door. She gets into her mind and she sees this metaphorical door, and she's like, yeah, there's always a chink in the armor somewhere. And she's like, nope, you're not gonna find it, it's sealed shut, not coming open, sorry. And she's like, oh look, there's a keyhole. And she's like, what? How did a keyhole get there? And she's like, okay, we're gonna weld that shut. You know? And she's like, we are not going through that door ever. And even her beast is like, she says at one point she feels the beast scratching on the door, and she's like, stop, we're not going in. But there's so much more to this for Ari than she knows, because Isla even tells her there are different pieces of magic that apply to everyone except for Eida. Eida is the only one that there are certain pieces of magic that the magic does not apply to for some reason. And she doesn't even know she's breaking these magical rules until Isla points it out and like, you should not have been able to do that. Nobody should have been able to do that. And the fact that you were able to do that says that you are someone who is more than what everybody else is. You're working on saving yourself, and that's great, but you can save us all. And she's like, I just want to get home to my mom and find my fiancé and kick his butt. Okay, that is all I want to do. And she actually gets the chance, because the fiancé shows up in the arena as an opponent, and she's just like, oh, you are going down. And it's like, yes, girl, get him. Don't let him use that vow thing. You know, that's null and void. He doesn't get to use that anymore. He played that card. That's how you're here. Don't let him do it. But Eida is constantly warring with her sense of survival and her sense of justice. And sometimes the survival wins, much to Isla's immense frustration. And sometimes the justice wins, which Isla is like, yes, that's the part of you you need to be focusing on. And so when Tib shows up in the arena, and it's basically a kill or be killed. Either I have to kill you to survive, or you have to kill me to survive. Like, one of us is walking out of here. And, you know, I'm of the team of, he sold you into slavery. He signed his death warrant when he did that. So, like, just cut to the quick, you know? And she's like, I want to. I want to slit his throat. I want to beat the crap out of him. I want to just make him suffer. But something doesn't feel right. And it's like, oh, why does it have to come down to that it doesn't feel right? And it goes back to that first sentence in the book. Like I said, if you pay attention to that first sentence in the book, you realize that she is in her rights to shove a dagger at him, not commit to the jab, and just demand, tell me why I shouldn't kill you right now. Like, giving him the chance to explain himself. And, like, I would not have had that in me. I would have just been like, I don't even care at this point. You threw everything away and it is done. We are out. Bye. See ya. This ain't working. You know, type thing. So, for me, it would have been over at that moment. But her sense of justice prevails and she decides, you know what, if nothing else, and she justifies it as, even though she's asking him she's giving him a chance to explain himself, she doesn't justify it as, I'm going to give you a chance to explain yourself. She justifies it as, I deserve answers. I deserve to know why you did this. You know, because when he first comes, when she first sees him and they're actually able to talk, the first question out of her mouth is, how's your mother? And he's like, she's fine. My family's always been great. Why? Why do you ask? And she's like, are you kidding me? What do you mean, why do I ask? You know, and so that creates that, like, no, if your mother was not in danger, you told me that we had to do this because we had to save your mother, and now you're telling me your mother was always fine. So now I am owed. I have been here for 2 years fighting for my life. You owe me an explanation before I kill you. You know, and so she gets the explanation, and it starts to make this paradigm shift for her of between that and what she has learned from Graydon, her master. Graydon tells her that, you know, I get that you hate the way Eida is now. I hate the way Eida is now, but this is not how Eida always was. There was a time when this was just a sanctuary for the trolls. The trolls did not treat people badly. The masters did not treat people badly. Everybody lived here harmoniously. And something has changed. And so Ari is now torn because on one part she wants to get back home to her mom and she's still ticked off at her fiancé. But on the other hand, she's realizing there's something to what Isla said. Isla is saying, you can save us all. Instead of just yourself, you can save all of us. Everybody can be saved, including you. And she's just like, I'm not worried about everybody else. I'm just trying to get home. You know, all I want to do is get to my mom and kick my fiance's butt. And just, you know, in front of everybody. And tell everybody what he did. You know, but there's a part of her that's like, okay, yes, I could go home. I could kick my fiance's butt. I could be with my mother. I could be back in my own life. I could find love again. I could live a peaceful life. But can I live that peaceful life knowing that there's people here suffering and I could have done something about it? And that's the paradigm shift that she starts to have, that maybe it's not just about her now. Now maybe it's about everybody and whether or not she should care. And she even is faced with this at one point where one of the guys in the Unmarked Fallen ends up allowing himself to be killed simply because he gets infected with a plague that is incurable. And if he sticks around with his people, with his group, he will be sentencing them to die too. So rather than allowing himself to live and potentially infect everybody else, he offers himself up to die to protect everybody else. And even then Arya is like, I don't know that I could have made the same decision. I don't know that I could have been that selfless. And now she's faced with this, that it's not just I could save a group of 20, I could save a group of thousands. And not only save everybody in Eida, but maybe make it so that Eida and her world can both coexist, potentially. And this is actually the one of 3 books. The second book, Reign of Darkness, is already out. Shadows of Gold is coming out in 4 days on August 26th. So in 4 days you can go and buy all 3 of the books. If you want, you can go and pre-order Shadows of Gold right now. I will leave the links to all of that in the description below. And when the link, if you're not interested in doing a pre-order, that's fine. When the link is no longer a pre-order link, I will update that so that you can just get all 3 books, because trust me, once you're done with this book, you're going to want to go on to the next one. I'm already wanting to get the next one, and I already broke my book buying ban. I bought some books that I shouldn't have bought, but I bought them because I couldn't wait. They look so good. I'm still going to be buying the 100 books in October. Reign of Darkness is definitely on the randomizing list, just for a possibility that I might be able to get it, and if I can't, if it doesn't pop up, it doesn't pop up, and that's fine. That's all I got for you for this week. Right now I'm kind of working on this book. It's a little bit slow going. Dion annoys me. I don't like him. Maybe I'll like him as it goes on. And then Speak of the Ocean, and then this is my September TBR. That video will be the how I selected my September TBR will be available end of August, 1st of September, I don't know. I don't know when I've got it scheduled, but I've got it scheduled. So it will be available. And we'll go from there. So, until next time. Oh, wait, there is one more thing. KB, listen, I love the book. Love the story. It's great. I do have one bone to pick with you. These glasses are not decorative, okay? These are necessary, okay? But at any point in time when I'm reading this book, don't ask me what page I'm on, okay? Because the page numbers. Look at these page numbers. Okay, focus. What page number is that? It's so small. That's my only complaint, though.